Hey, welcome back to Dukes on Switch. We're back for round 2. I'm in the play, which is nice, against Kasame. And this hand is interesting. So we have 2 planes. We can cast our Thalia and Revoker. Sword's Little Mare, Palace Jailer might or might not be relevant. I think there is a better 6, especially on the play. Hopefully something with a Vial hand. For all I know, these Thalias could be dead against some sort of creature matchup like Maverick. But I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. Not as great, but I don't really want to go down to 5. I think I'll keep the Jailer and at least 1 Stoneforge Mystic. The reason I might keep 2 Stoneforges is that if I'm going for Batterskull, I might want the second one as just another way to put it into play before I have to cast it for 5. So I think here I might drop the Mirran. It's just a little bit too vanilla in this hand compared to the 2 Stoneforge Mystics. So I think we'll go Snow-Covered Plains into Stoneforge, get Batterskull. If it is removed, we can just play the other one. Probably go and get Jitte, and then hopefully put in Batterskull on turn 4. Unless Jailer does seem pretty good, but I'll keep this. We'll bottom the Mirran. Snow-Covered Plains and pass. Not too sure what my opponent is on. I don't think we've played before. Scalding Tarn. Scalding Tarn is interesting. Opponent could have Spell Snare, which would be pretty rough, but I'm going to assume they're also a Bolt deck. Swords is nice in case we're up against the Delver deck, but here I'm pretty happy just to try to slam this Stoneforge Mystic. It resolves, which makes me think that my opponent has possibly removal for it, but I think just going for Batterskull here is fine, especially seeing we have the backup Stoneforge Mystic to actually cheat in the Batterskull. Okay. Bloodstained Maya, interesting. Okay. So this looks like a Grixis Delver deck. Thoughtseize is pretty strong. Probably taking the second Stoneforge if they don't have an answer to it. But if not, maybe they take the Palace Jailer because it's hopefully going to put me back in this game in regards to actually drawing just more cards. Swords of Plowshares is relevant as well if they do have something like a Delver that they want to protect and don't currently have protection for it. One thing I will have to start talking about is the role of Wasteland in this matchup and what colors I want to start going after and why. If my opponent is on Grixis Delver and they have something like Gomag, perhaps I want to go after the black splash, also to stop more hand disruption. Stoneforge here is an interesting take if they do take it, because I don't really have a turn 3 play outside of Stoneforge. And unless I draw a land, I'm probably not too keen to wasteland my opponent, but I sadly don't think we're in a situation where I can't. Opponent having a good think. Yeah, taking the Stoneforge. That's fair enough. Just a pass. Okay. Vial. Okay. So I can play the Wasteland. This plays around Spell Pierce. And I think just to play around Stifle in my turn, there's probably no reason why I can't Wasteland in their upkeep. I don't believe there's anything here that punishes me for not Wastelanding in my turn, other than allowing them to maybe brainstorm here and upkeep with this land. Okay. Dreadhorde. Okay. That's fair. I'm going to untap just to play around Daze. Vial will definitely tick up. Mum. Okay, that's pretty nice. So here I don't really have a choice. We're just going to go after the Dreadhorde. If they have force, they have force. Yeah. And I think this is a big reason why Death and Tax is just struggling right now, because Dreadhorde Arcanist is such a beating on the deck. It gives Delver decks a lot more access to the graveyard as a resource, and of course Maverick is a deck that is trying to cut down the amount of resources that your opponent can actually play around with. They're going to target Thoughtseize. I probably am going to put in Mum, but it's a pretty good question. I guess I wouldn't be unhappy if they actually took the Mum instead of the Jailer, so I don't think there's any reason here to actually put in the Mother of Runes. Especially with the Dreadhorde already in play, I don't think Mum's doing a whole lot anyway, which is a little bit unfortunate. Okay. Put the Mum in end step. I think the one draw that I need here is probably Stoneforge Mystic. And they just have another bolt. Okay. Definitely tick this up. Is there a reason to play this land? It could... I guess I don't really care about a Thoughtseize taking the Batterskull, because we're so far from casting it, that I don't mind not playing a land here and acting like we have a 3-drop. But yeah, this Dreadhorde is just burying us in card advantage. I do want to play a little bit longer just to see if we can find any more black cards other than Thoughtseize, because if I do see, say, Gurmag, then I definitely want to bring in Rest in Peace. But otherwise, I'm not too sure if Rest in Peace is worth it just for seeing Dreadhorde. Tough spot though. Definitely, this is why I'm a big fan of Maverick, where we have access to splashes, of course, and with black splashes you get access to Abrupt Decay, Kaya, you get Plague Engineer, a few more ways to deal with Arcanist, which is kind of cool. This looks like Gurmag, which is pretty good information to grab. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's tick this up. I think we'll take one more draw and then probably a concession. Yeah, Young Pyromancer is going to be a bit lethal. Just a bit. Boarding is going to be interesting. I do like the parts. I do like the Rest in Pieces. Chalice is interesting. The issue is that a lot of my removal in Swords to Plowshares is going to be on 1, and Chalice for 1 is probably what I'm wanting to do here. I don't think Mirran is as great as it can be in this matchup. I think it just gets removed so easily that it's not going to be there for, you know, Gurmag blocks or double blocks with Thalia or anything like that. Revoker can definitely come out. I don't believe they would have any card that's there, and I think Palace Shell can come out as well. Mainly looking at Young Pyromancer and how well they can go wide. I don't think there's a chance of me landing Jailer when I am losing the game and actually coming back thanks to it. So this is 2, 4, 6. Maybe this is an interesting one. Maybe the Jailer is okay as just a one-off. Jailer isn't a card that I'm going to aggressively tutor for, but maybe there is a case to have it if we can reliably remove Young Pyromancer early on. Because maybe Palace Jailer is actually the card that, at some moments in the game, is what's going to bring me back. I still like the 4 Thalias on the play, the 4 Stoneforge, the 4 Mum. My opponent is probably playing Plague Engineer with a Black Splash somewhere in the 75, so that's going to be a little bit rough, but at least we do have a Gideon to kind of mitigate the neg-1 strategy. I think this is fine. We'll see how we go, and if we have to change anything. Of course, we are playing the old 61. I think it's just going to be a Mirran. At least a Mirran can kill an Arcanist. Alright, we will play first. And I don't mind this hand, especially if the first Vial gets hit with a Force of Will. Okay. Delver's fine. We have the answer to it, which is really nice. So this is pretty interesting. I can play a second Vial and Swords, which I think is better than porting my opponent. Especially if my opponent, if we tap down the Underground Sea, they untap, maybe they flip Delver, and then they Thoughtseize us and take Stoneforge, take our Swords, sorry. Then we kind of have to rely on the Stoneforge Mystic to keep us in the game if we don't find another answer for the Delver. I do also want to cast this Prelate on 1, so getting rid of my 1-drops here is also a pretty nice play. So let's go Port, play around Daze. I'm going to Swords this first because I care more about the Swords than the Vial. Now I'll cast a second Vial. And now we'll just pass back. I could have held the Port if I wanted to, and played the Karakas. But I think this is going to be fine. Dreadhorde, okay. Ticking both of these up. Wisp. That's interesting. Definitely playing a land for turn. And I think here we're just passing with Port up. And I think I'll Port down the Fiery Islet just to try to keep them off holding up a Bolt as much as possible. They can definitely play another red land. There's also a case of maybe tapping down the Underground Sea because of Thoughtseize. I'm going to go for Ponder. Okay. Double Ponder is pretty nice for my opponent. Flooded Strand into Thoughtseize would be pretty brutal, but thankfully that is not what we're seeing here. I could put in Stoneforge Mystic here to block, but I think I'd rather just not show anything until my end step in case my opponent just, you know, goes and plays a Delver instead of holding up, say, Lightning Bolt. Alright. This is pretty interesting because I can put in the Stoneforge here, but I don't mind also just doing nothing here, untapping, and then playing the Prelate on 1 to actually keep the Stoneforge from being taken by a Bolt. Maybe we don't have the luxury of time here, but I think we do. We will tick both of these up. Recruiter. Interesting. So we have a pretty nice hand here. I'm just going to pass. I'm going to keep Port up, and I'm probably going to Prelate in upkeep. I'm going to tap them off this. I kind of hope they don't have something like Kolaghan's Command. That would be pretty rough. Okay. Now I'll activate this. Put in Prelate and name 1. Opponent could have something like a Braid, but I think this is a fine number. Still attacking. Interesting. Maybe they have Blazing Volley, which actually doesn't get hit by the Sanctum Prelate. Is there a reason why I wouldn't double block here? I mean, I think this is fine. Maybe they have a Plague Engineer in hand. Name Human, and then it kills the Prelate. So I think he would just actually let this slide. I don't want to lose a Stoneforge either. Huh. I don't think there's another reason why you would attack. Unless you have something. Or unless they're bluffing me and they got me just for that 1 damage, which could definitely add up. So in that case, because I kind of didn't really think about it the way that I wanted to, I should have just kept the Stoneforge up for end step. Alright. I think here I'm pretty happy to go for a I could take one up to 4 for Palace Jailer and then have these on 3, but I think here I'm going to wait one more turn. So this is going to be a no, and this one's going to be a no. Oh, Jitte. That's interesting. Okay. Happy to attack with Prelate. Another land would have been great there because it allows us to port and also Batterskull. This is going to be fine. I could have kept Flickerwisp up, but I kind of want to keep Flickerwisp up for other things. Liliana is going to be fine. I could actually... This is interesting. I'm going to go for Recruiter into... Oh, did we take out Revoker? Yeah, we did. Okay. Well, I don't really want to put either of these in right now. This is just another case of being a little bit complacent. Yeah, because if I put either one of these in, it dies to the Liliana, which is pretty rough. Would have loved to have kept this up. Maybe it was still worth it. -2, -1. That's going to be fine. Delver is okay. Yeah, a little bit of a misplay there, but hopefully this will be okay. Put in Batterskull. Alright. Here I am pretty happy to put in Jailer. Another Wisp is pretty sweet. Block with the Delver. That's going to be fine. And although I could draw a card on my end step, I think here I'm pretty happy with just passing back with Vials up and also Jitte. I'm going to draw a card, okay. So, not too bad of a sign for us. It might be a sign that they're flooding and they're happy just to cash in this for something else. Tick up on the germ, that's fine. Okay. Activate this. Put in Recruiter. Trigger, yes. Go and get Jailer. And this is a spot where I'm really happy to have Jailer. Yeah. They could see that was going to take over the game. I think Prelate there was the big card, but yeah, unfortunately just still a little bit... I haven't played D&T in a little while, and I think here what I'm doing is I'm making moves and then I'm discussing them instead of discussing them and then making moves. So, unfortunately a little bit sloppy there. Seeing the Liliana, I don't mind the second Mirran as just a creature to really get through. On the draw, I don't mind taking out a Thalia. Mum seems a little bit average in the face of Liliana as well, so I might drop her down to 3. And I might actually just bring in a Revoker in case I do need one. It is really tempting to bring in Chalice, but again, I just don't want to shut off my my removal in Swords and Path. So let's give this a crack. Yeah, I mean, I can't really ask for anything better. We have a piece of removal in Swords to Plowshares, a turn 2 drop in Stoneforge, and then a pretty good late game in Recruiter and Flickerwisp. I'm going to keep this. Maybe I played it too safe last game. Maybe I, could have put in the Jailer a little bit earlier, especially if I had the Vial open for when they cast the Liliana last hope and I responded with Vial because I thought we still had Revoker. Yeah, I think maybe going for Recruiter there, end step, untapping, and then having Palace Jailer then would have been really good. Alright, Scalding Tarn. Delver's okay. Double Port, okay. Happy just to Swords here. Even if it gets dazed, it means that a Dreadhorde isn't coming down the following turn, which is kind of nice. And we have the Flickerwisp anyway for a bit of late game, which is nice. Fatal Push, okay. Can't really play around the Fatal Push, so I'm just going to play Stoneforge and go and get Jitte. Just the cheap equipment that we can cast, even if the Stoneforge here gets hit. And it might even give my opponent a read that I have Batterskull in hand, so I think they just have to Fatal Push the Stoneforge here anyway, which is kind of nice for us. See if the Ponder shuffles or not. Because the shuffle would be huge for us. Probably means they're looking for a land, and they chose to shuffle. Nice. This is really where we want to be. And now we can play a third land as well that can't be hit by... I guess they're probably not in the position where they want to be wastelanding us, but here I'm pretty happy just to go for Recruiter into Jailer. just to really keep applying pressure. Another Delver is fine. So now I get to play the Flickerwisp. I could also go with Jitte, which is interesting. So this is an interesting one. We have 14 minutes, so we have some time to talk. So I make a 4th land drop here. I can play Flickerwisp around Daze. They didn't have Daze last turn for the Recruiter, which is interesting. They could Daze or force the Jitte to stop it from connecting this turn. I think playing the Flickerwisp is a little bit defensive, and perhaps that's a little more don't lose more than let's win. So I think here we'll go for Jitte and hold up a Port this time. Okay, that's pretty huge. Cool. I don't believe my opponent is on Stifle, but just in case, I don't have to worry about playing Engineer next turn, so I don't have to like try to keep the Recruiter. Okay, so I can't even keep the Recruiter alive because we can pump it, but then in our upkeep, the Recruiter will just start a state-based action. So I think here I'm happy just to get rid of one Delver. It also turns off Fatal Push on their turn because the Delver came off the off play during here. Off the table during our turn, sorry. Brainstorm, okay. Alright. I feel like they're holding up Bolt. I guess we attack first. Wow, really? That's crazy. Well, now there's a question of do I just double Port here? We do also have enough mana for Flickerwisp and Port. I also don't mind Prelate on 1 and Port. There's so many options here, and I think we're in a really good spot. Maybe here I should have kept up the Plains and Port instead of double Port, just to kind of act like we have something else, but yeah, luckily we get there. A few misplays, and I apologize. I'm just still a little bit rusty with the deck, but hopefully I'm at least giving some insight into why I'm choosing my lines, and I think that's what we're all here for, and that's what I'm here for as well, because I love when you guys show in comments like, you know, hey, you could have done this, or, you know, maybe actually casting this instead of the Recruiter was the correct play, or but yeah, Grixis Delver, an interesting matchup. Winning a game on the draw without Vial is a really good feeling, but obviously the Jitte was really nice. Our opponent didn't have a great answer to it. I really thought they had Bolt here. Jailer actually pretty good as well. Opponent didn't have Young Pyromancer games 2 and 3, so Jailer obviously looked a lot better than it would have with those in play. But yeah, I think Jailer there is just so good as well, because it also sticks in the mind of your opponent that, you know, they have Jailer, I have to counter Jailer, I have to have an answer for Jailer, I have to build up my board for Jailer, which is I think why they played the second. They definitely played the second Delver, but they had to build out their board last turn, or else Jailer on the one creature in play is just game. It's so good for us. But yeah, really nice to win that one. Let me know if you had any different plays you would have done, if you would have sideboarded differently. So what we did was take out 2 Revoker, a Mum, and a Thalia for 2-path, 2 Rest in Peace, I believe. But yeah, thanks for watching. My name is Dukes on Twitch. You can find me on Twitch, of course, on Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and also on Sunday mornings around 10:30, 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I usually stream Legacy Maverick. I have a website called thegreensonzenith.com, which you guys might know Phil Gallagher from Thraben University. Definitely a pretty big inspiration for the Green Suns, which is for Legacy Maverick. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in round 3. Thanks.